My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with IRS. I'm just looking at my wife. She wants to make me smile before I do this YouTube. Anyway, I've worked thousands of IRS cases. I worked at IRS, 10 years? And these aren't infomercials about me. Go to my website. I've been on national TV many times. Matter of fact, 4 days ago, I was on News Nation. Anyway, the reason you should listen to me, I was a former IRS agent. I've worked thousands of these IRS cases. I want to tell you something. There's no such thing as a tough IRS case or problem. Everyone calls me, oh, I got a unique situation. I have a tough case. It's complicated. There's really no such thing as a complicated case. Let me tell you why. When you call me or anyone who knows what they're doing, usually if you call former agents because they're used to unpacking these questions that people get, it comes down to something really simple. I want you to understand this because this is how it all works. Everyone says, oh my, this, like I said, this is unique. You can't do this. Wait till you hear this. You've never heard this before. Baloney. I've heard it all. When you work 10,000 cases, I don't get really anything new. It comes down to this simple. IRS wants to know two things all the time when you call them. I want you to know this. It's very simple. A, are you current or have you fixed the problem? Rule number one, fix the problem. So if you owe, and first question I'm going to ask as an agent, if I knocked at your door and I sat you down with a federal summons is, are you have enough withholding taken out? Have you stopped the problem, or are you making estimate payments? You must solve that problem before you call IRS. Even if you're going to call IRS tomorrow, you want to make sure you have an estimate payment in so IRS knows you fixed the problem. Number two, you have to make sure all tax returns are filed. That brings you up to date, and that lets IRS know, hey, I'm ready to work with you. Those two things are imperative when you work with IRS. That's just the way it goes. So once again, get your withholding up to date, at least now, at least for the last week, last month. Get an estimate payment in, change your withholding, make sure all returns are filed. Then the next question I ask, is your tax liability right or wrong? If it's right, we don't have to do anything. If it's wrong, we have to have a vehicle to fix the problem. If it's already been assessed and it's wrong, you may have to do an offer and compromise, doubt as to liability. You may have to do a reconsideration. There's various tools that you have to try to change the liability. And that's really it. You have to either change the liability, accept the liability, and then at that point in time, once IRS has those pieces in shape, it's that simple, then you get an IRS financial statement. With that, when IRS gets that financial statement, to close your case, they're either going to put you in uncollectible, a payment agreement, or maybe you can file an offer and compromise if you're eligible. That's it. The case just revolves around that. Those are the questions. That's the way the case is going to work. How long can it take? Well, if the liability is right, it all depends when you want to call IRS. If the liability is wrong, it may take 6 months to a year to change that liability, especially with IRS not having the help they need. There's no such thing as a tough IRS problem. It divides itself out in exactly the way I told you. So don't get all shook up. Nothing's unique. That's how IRS closes cases, and that's how IRS is going to close your case. If you need me, call me. Leave me a subscription. That really helps me. It shows YouTube I'm giving good information. Like I said, I don't like infomercials. I like to tell you really what's going on to help you. Thank you much.